Today I want to talk about self-worth. A few videos ago, a few weeks ago, I talked about losing my dad. I don't know how to link it in the description or anything, but you could go back, and if you haven't seen that video, you could go back and watch it. At the end of the video, I talk about where I am struggling with seeing where I have value that people would want to chase me if I decided to walk away from them, or really it was just a feeling of not having any self-worth and not having any value within myself. I know that I have value to the people that I love and the people that love me, but I often feel like that value is tied up in what I can do for them and not necessarily who I am. So my assignment from my therapist was to make a list of the reasons why I do have value. And I thought, okay, I know that's going to be difficult for me because I know when I try to tell someone what my good traits are, I actually get a sick feeling in my stomach. I feel like I'm going to throw up. I don't want to say those things out loud. I never thought of myself as having poor self-esteem because I always felt good about my physical self for the most part. There were parts about my body I didn't like, which everybody has that struggle. But I always felt like I had good self-esteem, or at least average self-esteem, until I had to do this. Now, I basically put it off until, a day or two before my next appointment because I really didn't want to do it. And then I really wanted my husband to do it for me. I asked him, can you please tell me my good traits so that I can write them down and I don't have to think of them myself. Then I did sit down and start thinking, and the only things that I could initially come up with were things about my physical body. And that's okay. It's good to love your body and appreciate it for what it is. I know I'm strong. I know I'm very hardworking. I know lots of things about my physical body and about the things that I can do and what I can get accomplished and things like that. But that wasn't what the purpose of this assignment was. I was to look for things that won't fade. Everybody ages. If you're beautiful, you're going to age. Not that older women aren't beautiful, but you'll lose that beautiful smooth skin. You're going to lose a lot of those things because bodies age. And even being hardworking and strong, that starts to fall apart because your body just wears out. I can't go and go and go and go like I did when I was 20. And now I'm starting to have aches and pains. My back is starting to hurt and things wear out. So if your self-worth is tied up in your physical body and the things that you can do, eventually you lose those abilities and you lose then your self-worth. So I have to discover for myself the things about me that aren't going to fade, the personality traits and the things about me that people value, that I value, and those would be the reasons why people wouldn't want to walk away from me and just let me go. So I had to make a list of those things, and I did, and that was okay, and I felt okay making the list. And then when I had to read the list to her, again, I felt really uncomfortable. I felt like I was bragging about myself, that I had a lot of pride, that and these are just common things like, loyalty and compassion and, being nurturing and dependable. I mean, those are traits that I know I have and I know that people appreciate about me, but talking about them out loud feels like I'm bragging. And I don't like to talk about myself in that kind of way. So that's really difficult. But the thing is, I do need to accept that those traits, those are the ways that I am created. Those are the ways that I'm put together and for a purpose, for me to live out my life and to bless people and not everyone is the same. Everybody is so different. Everybody has different traits and giftings and ways that they can do things, and that's really awesome, and that's how we can get lots of things done, and different people are good at other things. But saying those things out loud, I just really, well, and then I also just feel like a fraud. Like, I can say that I'm caring and creative and a good listener, and I'm reading off my list here, and that I have a lot of empathy for other people and compassion, but sometimes I feel like that's my fantasy self. That is what I want to be like. Like, am I really like that? Or do I just want to be that way? Or is that just how I envision myself? And in all reality, I'm actually a whole bunch of other things that are the opposite of that. And some of that is rooted in some things that, just in things that I heard over and over and over, throughout my life from people that loved me, or, from some childhood things that I heard, and that made my thinking pattern change and made me not want to accept some of the positive things that other people would say about me. But so yeah, I have to work through this. I have to decide that these things are true, that they are actually who I am. And most of them I really like. I knew them, and I like some of these traits, and they work well for me. But just overthinking it and making me feel like if I can't be compassionate 100% of the time, and if I can't be loyal to someone 100% of the time, that I'm not actually that I'm not actually compassionate and loyal, that I'm actually selfish, and I, just don't care about people. If I can't just give 100% of myself to someone all the time, my brain tells me, yeah, you're not that. But, so now then I read her those things, and we discussed, what those things mean to me, and how I feel about saying them, and where I go from here. And we decided that I needed to get over that feeling of being a fraud, and that I'm actually not those things, and that's just my fantasy self, or who I want to be, but no, not who I actually am. I have to contact 3 or 4 people that are very close to me, that I know will be honest with me. My husband, one of my children, that's old enough to totally understand what I'm talking about, and she will be very honest with me. And then a couple of my close friends. And I've already asked them, so they can't cheat and, watch this video and see what I listed. So I did get answers back from 2 of them, and they are very, a lot of confirmation, and just that, yes, in fact, those traits are what we see in you, and that we love you very much. So I want to encourage you guys to really look into what your self-worth is based on. Because if your self-worth, like mine, is based on your physical body, your appearance, or what you can do with your body, or how much work you can get done, or, how many times a week you clean your floors, or, for me, how many clients are in my chair in a week. If your self-worth is based on those things, I really want you to, look into yourself and figure out what about your personality and your actual person are worth valuing. And if you struggle like me to come up with those things, ask 3 or 4 people that are really close to you, that will tell you the truth, and that really love you and have your best interest at heart. And you may be surprised by some of the things they say, and you may also just be like, yeah, those are actually true about me, and I love that. And then just, exploring some of the other things. One of my friends had mentioned she loved my thirst for knowledge about the things that I'm doing outside here with my chickens and veggies, and just where I'm just constantly searching for new knowledge and new ways of doing things. And I know that about myself. I didn't think about that I am a researcher, and yeah, I love that. And today is a good day for research because I'm looking outside right now and it is cloudy and gray and cold. We had a couple flakes of snow this morning and I was not happy about that. We're almost into May here, so it needs to get warm and stay warm. We had a beautiful weekend, but yeah, today is not a good day for weather. So I was going to give you some updates on the chicks and that had hatched out and some things going on outside, but it's just too yucky and gray out. So yeah, look into yourself and see, the ways that you were created and see where your self-worth is rooted. And I'm still waiting on 2 answers from 2 other people, and I'm, kind of excited and at the same time a little nervous to get their answers back. So we'll just see how that goes. So yeah, that's my heart for this week. That's what's going on with me. And let me know in the comments what you think, where your self-worth is rooted. I'd love to hear other people's positive traits because it's really interesting to me how people are put together and what they think about themselves and then what their loved ones think of themselves. So thank you for listening. I'll see you next time.